And we are live from Stone Mountain, Georgia, and
Live from Rock Hill, South Carolina in the Bear Cave.
it's the Keto Show. You got Lee and Mike. Um Mike's not cooking today because Mike don't feel good. Mike's got a bad cold.
Let's
And I
let's
figured y'all didn't want to hear me sneezing and coughing all over food or see
let's
me
do a little
doing it.
something different starting
Okay.
off, Mike.
All right.
Let's just take a little moment of silence for we all got a lot going on in our houses.
Yeah.
Tom, the dude, their house has got a lot going on. Everybody else does, so let's just take a moment. All right, that's good. So, we've been talking back and forth, and I know you got a lot going on and
Yeah.
not feeling good. Today, man, I've been sneezing like crazy. The whole pollen thing.
Yep. Mine.
Man,
I had the pollen thing going, and now I got a cold going. It's nothing but a cold because I know it. I mean, I had COVID. I know what it feels like, and I know what a cold feels like. This is a cold.
so
We got pickles.
here again the master learn mastering.
Culinary magic. Yes, sir, with Doug Henning.
Who's Doug Henning?
He was a magician. He died of cancer, if I'm not mistaken. He made an elephant disappear on stage one time.
All right, thanks, Charlie. I ain't ready to go yet, buddy.
I think it was more about the magician part, though. I think.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Rusty. I expected to see you in here today.
Yeah, I don't know. We hadn't talked, and yeah, I was just kind of like, I didn't know what I was doing until mid-afternoon. So,
And we got Bat 13. Good to see you.
yep.
Doug Henning was a hippie magician. Yes, he was.
Guacamole burger. Evening, Bat. There's old Rusty. Oh, he changed his profile pic.
Oh.
Somebody's been playing on the computer some, huh?
Yes, they have.
Hippie magician, got home from work late. Only been home a few minutes. All right, buddy. Yeah, I know we hadn't talked much, so this week.
Yeah, he was kind of the Gallagher of magicians.
What's up, Dutchie and the turtle people?
How you doing?
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this started up.
All right, so to update y'all know for those who know, I missed last week's show because I got a call and had to go to the emergency room where my brother-in-law had fallen. He had to go to. If you know anything about Atlanta, he was in Grady Hospital in the ER. And when you have to go to Grady, we have ERs closer than that, and when you have to go to Grady, it's bad. And he ended up having a big old gash on his forehead, and he broke the first two bones in his neck. The C1 and C2, he broke them, and they did a fusion surgery on him yesterday, and he's resting peacefully. They had to put him on a breathing tube, but he's, they hope for that to come off because his breathing's better now. His oxygen levels were low. But I appreciate everybody. If you keep him in your prayers. If you're a praying type, I'd appreciate you keeping him in your prayers.
That was kind of part of the moment of silence.
Yep, I agree. So what you got, Lee?
I forgot my spray oil.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we got to talking, and I got to talk about something else, and so.
Oh well.
So I was really confused on not confused. I was really trying to figure out what I was going to do, and this dish hit me last night, and I kind of marinated on it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. You might have seen it. You all probably seen it where they do the brats all in a row, and then they put the cheese, they load them up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that I got is I'm going to take a brat. I'm going to open it up so it's like a boat.
Yeah.
Grill it off the inside. Flip it over. When I flip it over, I'm going to add pimento cheese.
Okay.
I got some regular cheese. I got some maple bacon onion jam.
Oh.
And then I'm topping off with some bacon bits. So
Yes, sir.
kind of playing it off because the thing that I saw was kind of like a jalapeno or popper inside of a sausage. You know, and I was like, you know what? We're going to do this different. So, and then because my wife wants some veg, the veggie tots.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're the fries. They're zucchini, garlic parm. So
Okay.
So
I haven't seen those.
They got dinosaur ones, so they look
Really?
like dino nuggets.
Wow.
What's up, Honey Badger? How you doing?
The ones that are done like tots, they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like them. I'm going to try to cook these fries in a skillet with the lid. So I have, just for anybody who's curious, I have the Lodge Bear skillet, 12-inch skillet. And I broke out the, this one was hanging on the wall right there, the Old Mountain square griddle.
Okay.
Or grill. So,
is it flat bottom inside?
No, it's got the grill
rippled.
marks.
Okay. Okay.
See?
Yeah, now I see it.
Yep. So that's what I'm gonna try to. Well, I'm gonna make something, and whether it turns out like I want, I don't know. Y'all know that I don't care.
So you're gonna slice them open, lay it down, let it grill the inside, and then you're gonna flip it over, and then that little valley that it creates.
Right.
That's where you're gonna put the cheese.
Right.
That
the
sounds
pimento
good.
cheese, and then once that kind of melts down while the sausage is cooking on the underside, I'll top it off with some other stuff, and yeah.
That sounds really good.
So there's a place here in town. They do what they call Southern poutine fries, and my daughters love it. And it is French fries with pimento cheese, bacon jam, and then or jalapeno jam, and then bacon bits on top. And we've made it before here. Cub really loves it, but it's kind of a play on that, but keto because there's no fries in it.
Yeah, it does it. Do they put gravy on it?
No.
No? Okay.
Because the pimento cheese kind of melts.
It melts and makes a gravy, a sauce on its own. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So kind of mixing up a couple different things. So we'll see what happens. Worst case scenarios, you all will know not to do it.
Yep, there you go. We may not do it right, but we'll find out how you do it wrong. If nothing else, we don't fail. We just show a way that it don't work. We just show.
All right, so I'm gonna spray that pan. You get these are still frozen. I didn't thaw them out, which I probably should have, but I don't know.
They say you can cook those things from frozen. I'm like you. I like to thaw them first.
Well, my thought was if they're thawed, then they would be easier to be smashed and not hold up the this fry shape.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was my thought. Okay. So and we'll just dome it to try to keep the heat in to create an oven.
You know, there's a lot of times with the instructions on the back, I just kind of disregard it and make up my own.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to, right?
Yep. Cook it the way I want.
If you need bread, I got the street tacos.
Perfect.
The La Bangarita.
Those things are great.
Those are my favorite ones.
Yep. Fully
Mission,
agree with you.
The Mission ones, they have like a sriracha ranch and a
Right.
a tomato basil. Those are good. But when I'm having issues like my legs were screaming last weekend because I had like French fries. We went to Chili's and I got a burger and fries, and the next day my legs were screaming because of the inflammatories that was in the soybean. So, all right. Can y'all see this, or do I need to move it?
Let me do this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
All right. So anyway,
there we go.
I'm going to take the sausage. I'm just going to start here. And I want to cut the top of the casing down and then open it up so it's like a boat.
Yep.
And then I'm going to grill it off upside down. I don't want to go all the way to the end, but I think I have been.
Well, I mean, it's nothing wrong with doing that because you're not putting the cheese in that part.
Right. But I want to create the canoe instead of being all the way open.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then kind of flatten it out a little bit.
Tom's Food Factory says if you were in Germany, the Gestapo would be at your door right now.
The who?
The Gestapo.
Yeah.
Colonel Hofstetter knocking on your door. Major Hofstetter. Do you know that most of the folks that were playing the German soldiers in Hogan's Heroes were Jewish?
Really?
Yep. You had Leon Askew, who played Burkhalter. He was Jewish. The guy who played Major Hofstetter, he was Jewish. Colonel Klink was Jewish. Sergeant Schultz was Jewish. It's just one of those things that's interesting to me.
So, my dad was telling me about one of my great uncles. Now, he was my grandpa's brother, and him and my grandma had a falling out, so I wasn't never really around him much. But my dad was telling me that when he was in the war, they were overseas, right? And he's on the front lines. They got trapped. And because we have so much German heritage,
right?
They commandeered a vehicle. They didn't go into details, but they said he commandeered a vehicle with another guy and put on the German gear. Made it through the checkpoints because they looked German, and made it back across lines.
Wow.
Now I heard this story years and years and years after he passed. Like, they didn't never talk about it. So.
Wow.
But yeah.
My uncle was in Europe in World War II. My daddy was in Europe in the Pacific in World War II. And my uncle, he was in the Army, and he made a friendship with the chaplain who was a Catholic priest, Father Fitzpatrick. And Father Fitzpatrick ended up at a parish in Griffin, Georgia, not far from where my family lives, and my uncle lived also. and the two of them would get together and play golf every week. And he said, he said, I'm out there at the golf course that was back when I played, and he said, I said, Unc, can I play with y'all? He said, come on, nephew, let's do it. So I joined him, and as the father's standing over a putt, he said, Mike, you see that man right there? And I said, yeah. He said, that's the bravest SOB I've ever known in my life. Talking about the priest. And I said, really? He's a priest. And he says, don't care. Man is brave. And I said, how? He said, during World War II, we're up there fighting, bullets flying everywhere. You got wounded soldiers down on the battlefield, bullets all flying around. He said, I got a gun. I can shoot back. He said, that man would kneel over wounded soldiers that needed last rites because they were about to die, and he would give them last rites, and bullets literally whizzing by his head. And I said, wow. And he goes, yeah. And I once asked him, how can you do that? He said, God looks after me. And I said, man, and then my uncle now, he was in the Army, but he could cuss like a sailor. And
hey, God created them words too.
Yeah, and while they'd be playing, my uncle would hit a bad shot, and he'd go, oh, da, 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 and go off. And the priest would look at him and said, Troy. He goes, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We used to go when I was in high school. I mean, growing up, basketball was everything, man. We played basketball all the time. And our preacher would come to the open gyms and play with us. And, you miss an easy shot, a little bunny, and you're like, oh. And then you look over and you're like, damn. And he's like, it's all right. God created them words too. And he threw you the ball and he's like, come on.
Oh, what was it? There was a show. Oh, man. Oh, a movie. The Air Up There. It was set in Africa. Most of it was about this young African man who could play basketball really good. And this college recruiter went over there to try and recruit him to play for the college team. And there was a nun there working, a missionary that was doing it. And the nun one day, and Kevin Bacon played the basketball coach. And he says, the nun says something and uses a cuss word. And he said, sister, are you allowed to say that? And she says, yes, but only if I mean it.
Oh, man. So what's new up around your area?
Well, last few days we've had rain. Geez, we've had a bunch of rain since the first of the year, we have had a ton of rain.
Yep.
But this is our rainy time of year, but man, and inevitably, I can run across somebody and I'll say, man, I'm tired of this rain. And we've had rain a lot. I'm so fed up with seeing rain. It's depressing. And they'll say, well, we need the rain.
Yeah.
Way over on inches for the year. We need the rain. And I'm like, there's a such thing as too much.
Well, I mean, we haven't started building boats yet.
No.
So we're still good there.
Yep.
Yeah, the eclipse. Did you get to go out and see any of that?
I went out briefly, but I got to tell you, that was a big nothing for me.
Well, I slept through it. I was just taking my nap, and I got up and I was like, just kind of like in a mood, just kind of cruddy. And I walked downstairs and I looked out the window, and everything had like a black hue to it.
Yeah.
Instead of sepia tone, and it was like a black tone to it. It was really weird. And I was like, all right, well, I walked outside and I didn't see, don't look at the sun. So what do I do?
Yeah.
And whatever. I didn't see it. So then later on, about an hour later, the sun was out, bright, everything. I was firing up the grill, and I made my own eclipse. I don't know if you saw it. Let me see if I can show it. Let me see if I can show it.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you hear about the? There was a Mexican news channel. They were showing the. I love that. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yes, it's a cast iron pan.
They were showing the eclipse, and they said, and they put up a clip of something, and this was on live TV. And this guy had a camera set up, and it was shooting between his legs up toward the sky and seeing the sun. And as he moved across, the berries were dingling and dangling down, and that was what you saw going across the sun.
No.
Yeah, that was the eclipse.
Oh no.
And
No.
And they broke away from it real quick once they saw what it was. But I'm like, oh my God, that's on live TV. Dutchy says no eclipse in the UK. He said the rain in the UK. We've got rain in the UK and strong winds coming from the US. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
we have a saying.
Kind of off topic, but Dutchy, you had any more trouble out of the turtle people now that you're using their new product or newer product? You heard about that, didn't you, Mike?
No.
So, I mean, I'll let him tell you if he can get in, but he had the turtle people. Well, the company that he uses, the product, because he's selling the economizer, they contacted him, told him that he couldn't use their name or something like that because he's not affiliated with them. So he was told to stop using their name. So then he gets their new product and uses it all over. But he calls them the Turtle People because of the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
He says no. He had the Ninja Turtles spread all over it while he was cooking on it.
He said no problems with Ninja.
So I got pimento cheese and it's palmetto. This is pretty close to what I make, but the only one they had today was a jalapeno.
Okay.
So it kind of works, so I didn't have to add a jalapeno.
I like their jalapeno. I use that for my own personal use a lot, but it's got to be just me, and I got to hide it because Paige will accidentally get it if she's getting pimento cheese. So
yeah. Well, I normally get the original because that's pretty close to what I make.
Mm-hmm.
And but this is all they had, and I said, the original recipe that I saw had candy jalapenos in it, and that's just not me. So,
Honey Badger says is Velveeta keto? Well, technically no, but if you can work it in, or you just having it occasionally, you're okay. I mean,
well, I think it's. So this is where the lines are drawn, right?
Yeah.
Because is a hot dog keto?
No, because you're not supposed to eat processed foods if you're strict keto.
But if you listen to Dr. Berry and you are dirty keto, you're fine as long as it's meat and you're not having bread with it.
Exactly.
So in that case, if you're dirty keto, but I struggle with, here's the thing, right? and this is you find this in everywhere.
Uh-huh.
They want to be independent. They want all equal and all this stuff. But yet we put labels. We have to be a label.
Yep.
We have to be under some sort of label, or we're not human, right? It almost seems like that no matter what we do, we have to be under some sort of label.
Yep. I fully agree.
Do you go low carb? No, it's 30 keto. What?
Yeah,
Well, keto's 20 carbs or less a day. Well, you know what? I don't get into all that. So that's just a little rant that I have that I'm not going to get into.
Well, okay, I pulled it up. Velveeta has 3 carbs a serving, and a serving is 1 ounce or 3/8 of an inch slice. That's, if you have that every now and then, you're not going to kill yourself, and it would be considered dirty keto by the keto police, but I say if you can work it in, have at it. Yep. Hey, Dustin.
Keto Simple, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Nancy.
Vito Corleone. Our treasure home, how you doing?
Good to see you, Nancy.
Humans like to put everything in a neat little box. That is it.
Amen.
But then you get somebody who's like, man, I'm just eating low carb, and I want hot dogs and Velveeta.
Right.
Yeah. You can't afford Velveeta. It's $7 a block. Mm-hmm. But, if that's all you're having with the, $3, 3 pound, you get a block of Velveeta and the big thing of cheap hot dogs, and you're set for a week, go at it.
Yep.
I mean, who's to say that you don't want, Spam isn't, right? And it's all ham, and it's got tater starch in it. So technically it's not.
Right.
But if you listen to the Mr. Barry says, eat what you can.
Eat what you can.
Processed breads and starches.
Yep. So Velveeta here, the 1 pound block of it is $5.48 at Walmart. Let's see what the store brand of it is. $5.28 for a 1 pound no, that's for a 2 pound. The 2 pound Velveeta is $5.28. So you're getting 2 for the price of 1.
Now I'll tell you what, I like getting Velveeta about yay thick and putting it on a fried bologna sandwich with
yeah,
Duke's mayo, lightly toasted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Fried bologna and cheese, and I like to put an egg on there too.
Man, that's my childhood right there.
And for the most part, the macronutrients are pretty much the same for both of them.
Well, and you got the guys that say Cheese Whiz is perfect for keto, right?
Right.
Well, it's the same thing with Velveeta.
Right.
So here's my thing. Just, I don't want to say do you, but don't worry about being in labels. Right?
If the other folks don't like it, let them do them.
Eat what you can afford and eat what you like. Keep the processing low. Throw in some veggies. Watch your processing, like starches and Nutri-Grain bars. Stay away from that. I've had we had a box of those, and man, they tore me up. I hadn't had them in years, and I was eating the heck out of them, and they tore me up.
Yeah.
But they're good for you. But I hadn't had them in so long that whatever they put in them messed with me.
So Dutchie says that the barbecue guy there in UK is Marcus Bowden, and he's been keto for 2 years now and has lost 6 stone. And a stone, if I'm not mistaken, is 14 pounds, and so that's 84 pounds.
Wow.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Yep. I wanna shout out a couple of guys in my so I was telling you about the F3 that I've been doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's for anybody who doesn't know, it's just a group of guys that get together. It's fitness, faith-based, and fellowship. And we get together at like 5 o'clock in the morning. They do a workout. I'm one that walks, so I'll take off and walk. I get guys to walk with me. Some of them don't, and that's fine. But I completely forgot where I was going. Oh, there was a couple of them that have really stepped it up and gotten serious about it and started watching what they're eating. One guy's dropped about 70 pounds in 6 months, 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
All by watching what he eats and continuing the workout. Another one is he has a goal weight that he wants to be at before his 60th birthday in a couple weeks. So he's right there. And you start seeing a lot of these other guys that are shaping up, and they're not like trying and boasting about it. They're just doing the work.
Right.
Quietly doing the work and showing.
Oh, we have Tom Garvey in the chat.
Hey, Tom, how are you doing?
Hey, Tom. How you feeling, Tom?
I was watching his little stress thing where he's talking about keto and stress.
Yeah.
And that video is really good. I'd like to elaborate a little bit on that, going back to what we were talking about is you get so caught up in what do I eat?
Yeah.
And then the family, y'all know my wife she won't try a lot of keto stuff. Right? So if it doesn't sound like what it's supposed to be, she ain't doing it. So, and then you get caught up in saying, well, if I make this, they're not going to eat it. So, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an added stress there. Ooh, yeah, these are done. I'm trying to get in where the cheese is. Where the cheese is cooked.
Tom said he got the shot in his knee today, and hopefully it works. Excellent. It's not cortisone, folks. It's another thing. It's like a lubricant type thing that's supposed to help with it. So I hope it does.
So I got the privilege to walk with a fella the other morning, and he reminds me a lot of one of my old buddies. And come to find out, we have a lot of similarities, a lot of issues that we've had. So Rusty's son, we've talked about it, has his back problem and is getting that stimulator. This guy went through the same thing a couple years ago. So we were talking about that. Talking about, I had a neck fusion. He was talking about his neck fusion. Talking about melanoma. His dad had the same thing. His dad had it in the brain. Mine was on the brain, but kind of interesting to talk with this fella. So, we were talking just a little bit before the show about telling your story. Letting other people know something's going on. They're not alone. And it could be something completely crazy. Your keto journey. You, my friend, have a great journey.
Yeah.
And it's important to share that.
Yep.
Because somebody will say, you know what? I've hit a roadblock, and this is how Mike overcame that roadblock. I've plateaued. What's going on? My legs are killing me, and what am I doing different? Well, I changed, and I had Nutri-Grain bars.
Yep.
All right, so now I realized I can't process, was it the oats in it or something? Because I hadn't had those in a long time. So
right.
I guess the long way around what I was trying to say was, just share your story, man. It's important. You're important, Mike.
Well, thank you. I think you are too.
Everybody in the chat's important. Oh no.
Tom, my brother-in-law, he's resting comfortably. He had the fusion surgery yesterday. They did have to put a breathing tube in him because his oxygen levels were low. So they're hoping that they can take that out soon because his oxygen levels have improved. I don't know at what level they want it to be at before they can take it out, though. So he's resting comfortably. He's going to be in the hospital for a little while, though. And then it's a rehab facility after that.
I don't think I need that.
What you got? What you got?
Well, I was going to put some extra cheese on there, but I don't think I need that. I'm going to move some stuff around here.
Yep. Hey, you got sauerkraut?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I broke out the dude's plate. Every time I get ready to do the show and I'm like, what am I going to plate on? I always go to the dude's plate because he's like, I can't see nothing.
Yep.
All my white plates end up whitening everything out. So
yeah. Hey, what about your that cast iron plate you got?
Oh, the little one?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me dig that one out here. The little one?
Yeah.
What do you think? Put some fries down and put one of them on top?
Absolutely. What do you think?
Well, we can do both. I mean, it's only dishes.
Right.
So.
What the heck? Why not? Well, yeah, do both.
Yeah, it's just dishes. So I did flip these. They toasted up kind of nice.
Did they give you a crunch?
Well, let me show you one.
Well, it ain't flimsy, that's for sure. That's not bad.
See the steam coming out of them?
Yeah. That ain't bad at all.
Oh, hot. Oh. All right. And now let's take one of these little. Let's take one of these little boats. I like this one right here because it's hard to get to. Set him right there in the center. Okay. Now we're going to put a little bit of this bacon onion jam.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is the part that it's not keto.
Right.
And I know that. But, and there's got to be a but, right?
Yeah, there always is.
Maybe a tablespoon. So, if you're die hard on your carb count or whatever, don't. Or get a sugar-free version.
Tom says his ancestors are screaming at him.
All right.
There's zucchini fries.
Yes, there's zucchini fries, Tom. And then we'll add a little bit of the bacon bits right on top.
He said if you had a curry sauce, you'd have cheesy currywurst.
Cheesy currywurst. There you go, Mike. Reach on through.
I got it. Thank you very much.
All right. Set that over here. I'll get a little snappy snap. Let's let me do that first. Let me get the snappy snap and then I'll plate up the other one. How's that? That looks all right.
Yeah. I like that.
So, oops.
Tom says, if you're not in ketosis, don't worry about it. He's right.
Well, and I mean, we've talked before quite a bit about why are you doing keto?
Right.
What is your why? Right? So if you have no other health issues and you're doing it for weight loss and feeling good, thumbs up, awesome. Then you watch like you watch the net carbs.
Right.
Somebody like me, where I'm type 2 diabetic, net carbs don't mean nothing. My pancreas doesn't care about net carbs.
Yeah.
It cares about how much sugar you're getting in there and what you're stuffing in your pie hole. That's it. So, and I do the keto-ish low carb lifestyle because of tired of feeling like crap. Right? So
right.
You got to remember your why you're doing it.
This is right.
And I don't know about keto, whatever that is. I can't pronounce it, but I don't worry about that because my sugar's up and down. I look at an ice cream sundae and my stuff goes up.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. So, but there are the ones that are fantastic with it and do great.
Now, the wife will eat this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I should read what the serving size is for the fries, but I'm sure half a bag is fine.
Well, I read the serving size on some things, and I think here I am, a single person, but sometimes it says I'm a family of 4.
Yes. Which is why we stopped buying lasagna out of the frozen section.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's put 2 of these on here.
There you go.
There we go. That looks better.
Take care, Tom.
All right, Tom, have a good one, buddy. Let's get some more onion jam on here. And I think Cub would actually like this because she likes the fries like this.
Okay. Is she gonna be eating with y'all tonight?
She won't get home till about 8:30 or 9. So
she'll probably have already eaten.
She was at work, so she'll probably pick something when she gets home, like reheat it.
Yeah.
But it's like Tom says, you got to play with your food, right?
Amen.
There we go. How's that look?
I'm telling you, that looks so good.
Something simple, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 30 minutes.
Yeah.
35 minutes.
That's a great meal right there.
And is it healthy? I don't know.
It could be far more unhealthy if
right. Right. And these brats are the Firecracker Johnsonvilles.
Okay.
So I don't know if I mentioned that earlier or not. But yeah. Quick cook. Tasty. Gonna be tasty.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. All right. So these fries are really good.
That's good.
The center is softer than a fry.
Yeah.
Like a tater fry.
Right.
Yeah. Cats live long. Whoa. But
See, he's responding to Charlie plays with his food like a cat.
Oh.
Yep, zucchini fries.
Yeah. These are what they were. And I just toasted them in a cast iron skillet. All good, man.
There you go.
So, wow, that was a quick cook.
It was quick. Best kind.
Went pretty good, man. Nice and fast.
Yeah. And damn good looking. Man.
Yeah.
So what you got going this week?
Whew. Well, we got a 5K coming up this weekend.
Okay.
Walking it.
Right.
I'm not into the whole running thing.
That's all right.
But, my goal is to fill up the cabinet. We're trying to do one a month.
Yep.
My goal is to fill up the cabinet with my little tag saying I was there.
There you go.
Little small goal.
What's your times on them?
So I'm at about, my best is 51 minutes.
Okay.
Well, 52. It was like 51:49.
Yeah.
This one up here, the last one we did, I was at 54:59.
Right.
But, and I say, but I chose to walk slower because we had a couple couples that were walking with us, and our friend Jen, she was behind me. Like we made a turn, and I looked over my shoulder, and she was about 150 yards behind me, and I was like, all right. So I slowed up a bit, so she was catching me, right?
Right.
But it wasn't like I stopped and was like, hey, I'm waiting on you. I was slowing up, so she was catching up and, building up her speed a little bit, because she's like, I'm catching him. And I walked with her, and then my wife and the other friend, they caught us. So then we all finished, like, the four of us finished right next to each other. And this time, yeah, it was a little more than what I walked, but that was Jen's personal best.
Oh, wow.
So, hey, she dropped I want to say 10 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah. So
wow.
There's no, I'm not saying anything bad about it. It was my choice to do that, but I walked with her, and she got a personal best. And that there meant more to me than doing the thing.
Yep.
So, and they're excited to do this next one with us, and they're like, when's the next one? So we're planning ahead and just getting out there, walking and enjoying the company, and it's kind of our way of giving back a little bit, because all the stuff goes back to a charity.
Yeah.
So the one here in town is this weekend. They've got the parade for the big festival. It goes for a whole week, and the big parade starts off Thursday night, tomorrow night, and then the festival will run all week. Next weekend is the big cook-off that Rusty and I are going to do. So Rusty and I are going to compete in the cook-off, which is part of the SCBA. So we'll be cooking Friday night. Anything but is the ancillary category. Okay. We're trying to figure out how we're going to do things, what we're going to do. We're going to do some sort of popcorn with Uncle Steve Shake.
Yeah.
I've never made kettle corn until the other night. And I just started to burn the oil and the sugar. So I got to work on that.
Yeah.
Try to get that right, because we were going to do it in a big Dutch oven and stir it with paddle and all that. And so I don't have the big jambalaya pot that they typically use. So we're working on that. But then we get the butts and we cook 8 Boston butts overnight, and we will do our box turn in, and then the rest, we pull the rest of it, and the festival actually pulls it all up, and then they have a big tailgate party that's open to the public, and people can buy pulled pork sandwiches there, and that's kind of how they help fund it. So that'll be coming up.
Okay.
So I got some work to do on the drum and getting my competition drum and getting the stuff dug out, because we haven't competed since March of 2020.
Wow.
And that was the week or two before the whole world shut down.
Dang.
So it's been a while since we competed, and a lot's happened since then. And excited, nervous. Yeah. So
Pickles asked, Charlie says, do you feed the wife before the food gets cold?
sometimes.
And
Sometimes.
Tom's Food Factory says it's not burned corn, it's Cajun.
It's what?
It's not burned corn, it's Cajun.
It was there wasn't any flavor in it. It was more burnt. Yeah, there was it had that like burnt caramel taste to it. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Half of it was really good, and the other half we threw away.
Yeah.
So we got some work to do on that, but you know, it is what it is. Nothing else. We'll just get the air popper out, hit it with some butter, and put some seasoning on it. So,
Rusty says we can bring a bunch of microwave bags.
We could, but then we have to bring a microwave.
Yeah.
So,
don't know how that'll work.
Well, you do have power there, so we don't have to have a generator. So we could run a microwave. But I don't know. We'll play around with it a little bit more this weekend, and see. Hopefully, get it nailed down.
There you go.
Because the thing with it is, if there's 20 teams, then you got everybody has to do an ancillary.
Right.
And you're feeding the public the same thing you're feeding the judges.
True.
So if you're out there trying to make a name for yourself as a caterer or as a company or something like that, where you want to showcase what you're doing, right?
Right.
Then you want to go a little more elaborate. I'm looking, man, inexpensive. It's in our budget. And because, I mean, the guy with shrimp and grits is going to win.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if you have brisket in a taco, chances are you're going to win.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was last year did barbecue chicken pizza.
Ooh.
So there was a line waiting, and they had the heat cranked up on their offset, and they were doing barbecue chicken pizzas, and they couldn't keep up.
Dang.
You know, I'm not promoting. We're not trying to do a business right now. Later on, when we're trying to get a catering company or something like that, maybe we'll put some more money into it when we have more capital.
Yeah.
But right now, YouTube's not paying for it, so.
What about caramel corn?
Yeah, we could do caramel corn. I mean, because it's cheap, and you know, we could. Like I said, we're just trying to play around with it a little bit. Yeah.
There's one where you put Werther's candies in the pan with it while it's cooking, and or a couple of them, maybe 3 or 4, I don't know. And you do it on the stovetop, or can do it on the stovetop in a skillet, and you put a little oil in there, and you put the corn in there, and then it pops. You know, a little salt in with it, and it pops, and the caramel melts, and it becomes a good thing. You know, and I've seen people do it, and it worked.
I went down the rabbit hole of watching videos on kettle corn.
Yeah.
That's some pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's just oil, you throw in a couple kernels, and then you throw in your sugar. Once the kernels pop, you throw the rest of them in there, and you stir it up. And in my case, as soon as I did that, I had my heat up too high. It started happening fast. I mean, I had stuff popping everywhere.
Yeah.
And I had to put the lid on it, pick it up, and shake it.
Yeah.
But at that point, I had and I was using a popcorn oil. So I needed to use like a regular vegetable oil that had a higher smoke point and put the sugar in later.
Yeah.
Just a little bit later and then cut my heat off earlier. So that one little batch taught me a lot. So
I used to have a part-time job at Stone Mountain Park in the catering section. And on special events, everybody works doing whatever, like 4th of July, Yellow Daisy Festival. You don't work catering anymore. You're going to be cooking at a restaurant, or you're going to be working retail because they need everybody on deck, you know. And there was 2 things that I swore by all that was holy I was never going to cook again, because I burnt the living daylights out of myself doing both of them. Because of the one, because of it was funnel cakes, and you got to pick them up with tongs, and inevitably when you're putting them down, that oil's going to get on your arm, and you're going to burn yourself right here, sure as the world.
And that's kind of where we've talked about doing different things, but that's more stuff we got to take with us.
Right.
That's more stuff we have to plan, and we have to buy. Yeah. More ingredients, more cleanup. Like, it's just a whole lot more than what my mental capacity is ready to handle.
Well, the other thing was kettle corn, and that was because that corn, they had that big kettle that it was in, the black, iron kettle, and as you stir it, and we stirred it with a paddle, and as you stir it, it pops, and it'll pop out, and it'll hit you, and that stuff is hot.
Yeah. I did it here in the garage, and because it was kind of raining out, drizzling, so I did it here in the garage, and the wife was just laughing because that stuff was popping everywhere.
Yeah, and when it hit you, it's going to leave a mark.
I was using my 14 Black Betty, my 14 with I got a where's that now? I got a aluminum lid. And it fits on there perfect. And so I set that on there, and I was picking up and shaking it. And I should have cut the heat off the first time I picked it up, but I didn't. And that's what got me. So, but as your wife, I'm watching the food. You know, Charlie, my wife doesn't watch this. She doesn't watch none of my videos. I could be talking up a blue streak about her, and she would never know.
That's a fact. Mine on the other hand does, and so, but she has Alzheimer's, so she'll forget.
Yeah. I do.
Hey, folks, if you can't laugh at it, what are you supposed to do?
Right. So you got New York strips. I just laid out some chuck roast. Well, it's It's called beef chuck country style ribs. Basically, they took a chuck roast, cut it into 4 slices, and called it country style ribs.
Interesting concept.
So I made them one time, not too long ago, a few months ago, and I just happened to see them in the freezer, and I laid them out, and I was like, oh, wait, I think I did a video on this. So I looked back, and I did. So now I got to do it differently than what I did the first time.
Wow. Well, you know what? I've gotten to where I like the chuck eye steak. So I'll buy that chuck roast and I'll separate it, and I just use them both for steaks.
Yeah.
And they make a great steak. But I got to get it at a good price. I don't need a big one. Well, now I do because I got Bill here, but he's not here right now. But I can get it sometimes I can get them at a real good price when they're marked down. When they're trying to move them. I do. Yeah. Well, Lee, it's 7 o'clock.
Well, all right. We made it. We stretched it out there, didn't we?
We did. We did. All righty.
Well, hopefully somebody learned something.
Yeah. I'm going to try that method with the brats.
Yeah. It was one of those I saw years 2 ago, whatever, where they done them on skewers and they piled them up high and cooked them off and all that.
Yeah.
And then I saw somebody did the jalapeno popper brats. I was like, well, I prefer this. So I went to Southern way, and I think it's going to be good.
I agree. Why not? I mean, heck, it's got great stuff on it. Why shouldn't it be great?
True. The only thing maybe is it's too spicy because of the jalapenos, the firecracker brats.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and you got the jalapeno hot pimento cheese too.
Yep. So, but with the onion jam, and bacon should.
That'll counter it. That'll counter it. Yeah.
That was my hope.
Yeah, and then you could always do what my wife does when she gets something that I say, oh, it's not spicy, and she says, yes, it is. It's too spicy. She puts ranch on it.
I was going to say, my daughter will put ranch on it.
Yep. And you put ranch on it, she can handle it then.
Yep. And like I got these La Banderita tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you needed a bun, you could do that. You could wrap it in that, and then it's a whole nother dish, right? Then it's a taco.
Exactly.
So, or if you roll it up, ooh. Pig. If you got the bigger ones and you rolled it up and did all 5 of them.
Yeah.
And then cooked them off.
Yeah.
Like enchiladas.
Yep.
Enchilada stuff. I don't even know what we would name that.
Oh yeah, put a white cheese on top of it, or put some enchilada sauce on top of it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Or a pimento cheese bechamel laid along top.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's some mighty fine ways of doing that.
Got me thinking.
Me too.
I'll have to write it down or I'll forget.
Well, hey, I'm the same way. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. Hope you'll come back next week. Got to see if we can figure out some kind of something we're going to cook, or we can just cook whatever each one of us wants to, and hopefully I'll be well enough to cook by then. God, please let me be well enough to cook by then. I'm tired of this cold.
Well, with that pollen, it's that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was one of those, you almost need a snowblower just for the pollen, not the snow, for the pollen.
Yeah. and the oak tassels I got out there in the yard too.
Yeah.
From the oak tree. Good Lord. There's a million of them.
So.
And they're like tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
They get together and they just roll up in a big old ball.
So, all right. Well, let's get out of here, Mike. Y'all have a blessed week. And, man, just don't be doom and gloom and do your thing. You know your body. You don't have to be labeled as something. Just do what you know to do.
Yep. Remember, another day above the dirt's another good day.
Yep. I count my blessings every morning, man. I wake up on this side of the grass. I get hot coffee. And if I'm lucky to see her before I leave or before in the morning, before she goes to work, I see my wife. So
there you go.
That's the 3 things I try to do every day.
Yep.
So, but all right, well,
take us out, Ray.
Remember the 2 rules in cooking. Did you have fun? Did it taste good? Give this a whirl. Rock on. Y'all are awesome.
Let's be careful out there.